For this assessment, I've selected 2 directors who represent some diversity of background and experiences. Although both women, these directors have come into governance roles via 2 different pathways, and yet they share similar skill sets. The first director I've selected is Marama Royal. Marama is the chair at Ngāti Whātua Ōrākei Trust, chair at Sky City Auckland Community Trust, a director on Procord Cooperative Board, and a director on MIT Unitec Te Pukenga Board. Marama's pre-governance background includes general manager and other management roles with the Ministry of Justice and Victim Support, working at both the regional and national levels. While she doesn't hold any formal tertiary level qualifications, Marama holds a certificate in company directorship from the New Zealand Institute of Directors and otherwise draws on her experience and learning from the School of Life. She comes from a not-for-profit background. In terms of governance-related skills, she identifies her strengths as negotiation, financial literacy, strategic planning, policy development, media and communication strengths, relationship management and organisational change. In addition to these skills, Marama takes a long-term view to working for better outcomes for whānau and kaumātua in the communities she serves. The second director I've selected is Sarah Peterson. Her current and previous governance roles include Chair of Northland Inc., Director Chair of Make-A-Wish New Zealand Charity, Director at Far North Holdings, Director Chartered Accountants Australia and New Zealand, Director Arawai Limited, and Director at Tupu Tonu Ngāpui Investment Fund Limited. Sarah has come into governance from previous CFO and executive leadership roles and has a finance and accounting background. She holds a bachelor's in accounting and strategic management and is a fellow chartered accountant, however has had no formal training in governance. She started her governance career with a volunteer directorship in a not-for-profit. In terms of her governance-related skills, she identifies her strengths as financial literacy. She spent a lot of time chairing audit and risk committees, a risk management background relating to general business risk management and policies, and business structuring, such as how to set up company structures, capital structures, and company funding. Additionally, Sarah credits her experience in international business as being valuable to her board roles. Globally, she has sector experience with a telco background, including utilities and big technology projects, and she has infrastructure and building experience. The soft skills Sarah identifies as being crucial to successful directorships include being able to work with ambiguity, communicate effectively with stakeholders, especially where there are cultural sensitivities, and sound decision making. From my analysis of the common skills and traits of these 2 successful directors, our guest speakers in this course, and the literature, I've identified the following list of desirable governance-related skills. This list is not meant to be exhaustive. Rather, I've chosen the top 4 skills that I've determined to be the most relevant to my self-assessment for board readiness. These skills include financial acumen and decision-making, strategic thinking and planning, effective communication, and relationship management, being able to engage with a diverse range of stakeholders. The first skill on my list, financial acumen, is not one of my strongest areas. I would rate myself a 5 out of 10 for financial acumen. While I gained an A grade in the Managing Financial Decisions course last year, in my current role I do not have visibility of any budgets or oversight of any significant financial decision making. Not having access to the P&L or balance sheet information limits my decision making ability. So I have not had the level of experience in this area that one might expect of someone in a regional management role, and therefore I also lack confidence in this skill. To address this current gap in my governance skill set, I intend to request a meeting with my line manager to discuss gaining access to the financial information relating directly to my areas of responsibility. Having increased commercial visibility would enable me to make commercially informed decisions and to monitor and justify my team's results. I will then gain experience and confidence in managing the P&L, be able to make better decisions and communicate the commercial rationale for these decisions with my team. I also intend to supplement my learning from the EMBA with an additional course in this area. For example, the Finance Essentials course from either Governance New Zealand or the Institute of Directors. Additionally, I intend to apply to join a board as a director, which will provide me with the lived experience of applying my learning. I will also have the opportunity there to learn from other more experienced directors in an authentic context. The second skill on my list, strategic thinking, is an area I have improved my competency in since I began the EMBA. so that I would now rate myself 7 out of 10 for strategic thinking. By nature, I'm a very detail-oriented person, and this has led me to take a short-term view of things in the past, sometimes missing the bigger picture or making reactionary decisions. However, the EMBA courses have helped me learn to take a step back and see the view from the balcony, and pause to take into consideration the longer-term implications of my decisions and the bigger picture, including the macro environment, the market, and the wider contextual factors impacting on our business. However, as I still need to further strengthen my strategic thinking skills, I intend to regularly engage in deliberate reflection and apply double loop learning by allocating a weekly time slot in my calendar to review my long-term goals and evidence of progress towards these. This will include returning to our annual plan goals and identifying next steps. I also intend to set out a 5-year career plan. While I acknowledge this is likely to change, having a plan will allow me to monitor progress and maintain momentum and motivation. Also, I heard from Marama Royal that considering both the environment and future generations of her whānau community allowed her to make better long-term decisions because she's thinking about the downstream effects for many years to come. By actively serving on a board as a director, I will be able to apply this lens of considering the environmental implications and the next generation of stakeholders to help me remain future-focused. The third and fourth skills on my list are effective communication and relationship management. These are 2 areas that I've identified as strengths. I would rate myself a 9 out of 10 for both skills. While I'm certainly still improving in these areas, I have strong background in education and consulting. This experience in working alongside in a collaborative way, influencing people of all ages and supporting the learning of others, has provided me with excellent written and verbal communication skills. Furthermore, I've been able to improve my intercultural communication by spending time living in France and in Israel, and by working extensively with Māori communities around the North Island. I understand the critical importance of relationships to fertilising the ground before you can make progress on business or other goals. Relationships are fundamental to human interactions, and nobody wants to work with somebody who doesn't respect them, listen to them, and act ethically. These soft skills enable me to engage authentically with a diverse range of stakeholders and to appreciate perspectives that differ from my own. I now understand that my governance value comes from my human capital characteristics and what I can add to the collective board capital. This will depend on the composition of the rest of the board, their strengths profile, and the balance of what they are looking for and need.